Hey you guys, I'm Liv. Welcome to the channel. So I was asked by one of my viewers a question I've been getting for a while. Did you vote for Donald Trump? And I've decided to answer it. And I understand this topic can be uncomfortable for some people, but it doesn't have to be, you guys. I am open to having a respectful conversation with transparency. So here's my answer. Yes, I did vote for Donald Trump, and I will explain why. Not that I owe anyone an explanation, but because I believe it may be helpful to someone. For me, it was bigger than just a name on a ballot. I move and make decisions with purpose. I'm going to share with you my response and then what she said afterwards for context, okay? So when I answered the question, I said, yes, I voted because of my Christian faith. I pray first and ask God for wisdom, then support the candidate whose policies align with my Christian values. I didn't always vote this way. Even though I grew up Christian, I wasn't really active in my faith. I just followed my family's lead and voted Democrat, okay? So then I went on to say, but that changed when I began my personal walk with Jesus. My faith now guides everything I do, and that includes how I vote. And then the viewer response was, my bishop said something that is so true. People always say they vote for DT, which is Donald Trump, for religious reasons, but where is the proof he's religious? Because he says a few words here and there, and I'm old enough to remember him saying back in the day that he does not believe in God, okay? And then she goes and say, I believe in God, not man, and definitely not a man, and she calls him an offensive name. She continues with, God will deal with everyone who believes and follows false prophets. I want to unpack that statement and clarify a few things. First, thank you to the viewers who left a comment. I appreciate your feedback and you being open to have the conversation, okay? Now here's the thing. Just like so many others, the focus always become about Donald Trump, the person, not the policies he stood for and expressed during his candidacy. But like I said before, I voted based on my Christian faith, okay? It didn't make a difference to me what political party the candidate was running for. I cared about what the candidate believes in and what they're standing on. It's like, does it align with my Christian values? I do not consider myself like a political person, but I've been paying closer attention. I'm educating myself. And when I looked at the policies, not the personalities, I made my decision through prayer. Let me give you some examples of the policies I felt aligned with my Christian values, okay? So let's start with abortion. I educated myself about Margaret Sanger and her role in Planned Parenthood. That movement was heavily aimed at unaliving Black babies. Today in America, Black women are the highest percentage of women having abortions. That means there are more unalived Black babies. Our population is at risk of declining. That concerns me deeply. Why? Because I'm Black. I love me and my people. White women are the second highest group, and this matters too. Black and white American babies matter. All life matters to God. That's why I care about this issue. This is according to the CDC abortion surveillance. I will leave a link so that you can fact check that for yourself, okay? So how it aligns with my biblical belief, no worries, I'll tell you. Okay, so protecting the sanctity of life. That's in Psalms 139 and Jeremiah 1 and 5. Now, next, the gender issue. There are only two genders, male and female. That's what I believe, and it's what I stand on. That issue not only affects population and identity, it goes directly against Christian morals and God's design. Biblical reality of male and female, Genesis 1 and 27, mirrors my Christian view that gender is created, not constructed. Executive order titled Defending Women from Gender Ideology, Extremes in Restoring Biblical Truth to the Federal Government. That's an executive order signed on January 20th, 2025. You can reference I'll show you the link, okay? I also love being an American. I support the America First agenda. I care for our patriots and want our veterans to be treated well. Okay, so I appreciate that Trump pointed out the corruption in our justice system while still supporting our police officers. These are real issues and they affect the lives of everyday people. Okay, so, and yes, part of America First includes closing our borders and addressing the illegal immigrant crisis because it heavily affects American citizens, especially the poor and undeserved. Policy VA Mission Act of 2018, his approach on border security aligns with my Christian values in Romans chapter 13. And another reason I supported him, I have to add this, because I saw that he valued marriage and family. He spoke about the importance of protecting the nuclear family, something that is being torn apart in today's society. As someone who believes marriage is sacred and that strong families build strong communities, that matters to me. That lines up with my Christian values. He also talked about the economic struggle of the middle class, especially families just trying to make ends meet. I can relate to that. Many of us aren't looking for like handouts. We're just trying to survive, build generational wealth, and raise our kids right. And I respect that he acknowledged that struggle and putting attention on the working class Americans instead of always focusing on the elite or political class. Those issues, family, faith, and financial stability, matters to me deeply. These are just a few examples of the policies and agendas that I support personally. And again, my Christian values come first. Now let's talk about this bishop quote. The viewer said, "I believe in God, not man." But respectfully, that can sound a little contradicting because the whole point was based on what a man, your bishop, said. We've got to be careful. There are a lot of people in church leadership who call themselves Christians or anointed men of God, but they're just as corrupt as politicians. And I'm not saying that about her bishop specifically. I'm saying that from my own personal experience. I've seen it. That's why I encourage, and it is important to have your own relationship with God, your own conviction, your own discernment, because people will fail you. I used to think the same way. That's how most of my family still thinks. And I had to grow up spiritually. When I developed my own personal, individual relationship with Jesus, that's when everything changed for me. Hear me when I say, I didn't follow a party or man, I followed Christ. I'm not claiming to be a prophet, I'm just sharing my testimony. God delivered me, God renewed my mind. I am so very grateful, and I wanted to tell somebody. And I believe he's calling me to share what I've learned with people he wants to reach. That's it. Now, I want to say this clearly. I'm not going to address any accusations against that man that I do not know to be true. Because if we're honest, I'm pretty sure there will be accusations against me too, just for speaking out. I understand that it comes with this type of work. It comes with standing on the truth. All I'm doing is sharing my truth based on my faith, my experiences, and what God has shown me, okay? If it's not for you, that's okay. You don't have to receive it. You can move on, but I know there are people who need to hear this. So let's keep the conversation going respectfully. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what policies matters to you and how your faith shapes your decisions. Don't forget to share and subscribe if this helped you in any way. Sending you love with hugs. Stay encouraged, stay informed, and most of all, stay rooted in truth. I'll see you guys in my next video.